Welcome to Ear Biscuits. I'm Rhett.
And I'm Link. This week at the Round Table of Dim Lighting, we have YouTuber, writer, director, visionary, soda shop owner. Nashvillian, currently in LA. Olan Rogers. This has been a long time coming. A lot of you guys have been asking to get him on an Ear Biscuits for years. And today, it finally happens. I'm super pumped. We are fans. The dude.
He's done quite a bit.
He's an the headline is, he's an amazing storyteller. I mean, if you look at his YouTube videos, anything that's labeled with story, click on that and listen to it, watch the guy. I mean, it's a vlog, it's edited like a vlog.
A video log.
But it's not. You know why? Because
it's all that and more.
I mean, we analyze it and we get his take on what it is, but it's the ancient art of storytelling, which is dying, man.
The ancient art of storytelling.
Yes, seriously, man. What do you like?
You just got a little dramatic. I mean, it's great. It is really great.
People used to sit around on porches,
yeah,
or fires, or
they sat on fires,
dirt and around. And they would.
That'll make you tell a story
and
fast.
You know what they would do? They wouldn't watch TV or look at a screen on in their palm. They would tell stories.
Yeah.
It's oral tradition, Rhett. It's the ancient art of storytelling that we're losing. But this guy, single-handedly, see, now I'm getting overdramatic, is
single-handedly?
Is keeping the tradition alive when it comes to YouTube.
He's doing a great job, and he actually undersells himself. Olan does.
Oh, big time.
We had a great conversation, talked about all the stuff that he's got going on YouTube and off.
Just got married,
lots of exciting stuff. So stay tuned for that.
There's exciting stuff for us too.
Oh yeah, we got something very
exciting stuff.
Something that we have never done before. Lots of people have asked for it, but it just hasn't worked out. It's finally working out, and that is we are going on tour.
We are physically showing up at venues across America. Yes, this is a US tour only. This is not an international tour. That'll have to come later. So I apologize, International Mythical Beasts, but to focus on the positive, we are going to venues and meeting you mythical beasts in person while we do a show from a stage.
It's called the Tour of Mythicality, and this is not your typical book tour.
Well, it's in conjunction with the release of the book.
But we're not going to like
October, November, December.
Libraries and bookstores and doing book signings. No, we're putting on a show in theater venues around the US. And there's gonna be music. There's going to be us bringing aspects of the book to life in a way that you can only enjoy on stage. Well, some of you may get on stage, but we're gonna be on stage.
Yeah, there might be some audience participation.
But you'll be in a seat or standing or something. You'll be comfortably watching. But we think it's gonna be very different from anything that we've ever done. And we love doing this kind of thing. We love putting on a show, and we just haven't been able to do anything like this in years. Definitely not since we started YouTube, except for the occasional VidCon performance or that kind of thing. But this is gonna be something very special. And Link, tell them where we're going to be.
We're gonna be in Huntington, New York, which is
Long Island.
New York City, New York, Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas, San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles, all in California, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis. Nope, that's not how you say that.
Minneapolis.
Indianapolis
and Minneapolis. But we're not gonna be in Indianapolis.
I think I've been saying Minneapolis my entire life.
It's just Minneapolis.
Minnesota. There's so many of them, or they're small. It's one small Apollos, I don't know. Chicago, Orlando, Atlanta, and finally a homecoming in December in Durham, North Carolina.
Now you can go to tourofmythicality.com to see where we're gonna be and when we're gonna be there. And you can buy tickets starting this Friday at tourofmythicality.com. But, this is a big but, a big old booty.
Two cheeks.
If you subscribe to our newsletter at mythicalmonthly.com, you can get early access to tickets this week.
You can get to scoop.
We don't exactly know when that alert is going to come, but the only way you can get it is if you are signed up for our newsletter at mythicalmonthly.com.
Trying to give perks for being newsletter subscribers. I mean, you get all the recommendations of that, like the stuff that we're into.
But early announcements is something that we said we were gonna do, and so that's a special group of people who get that email, and
you should be one of them.
You're gonna continue to be rewarded for that. So if you wanna get some of the first tickets available for this, this is a limited tour, there's limited seating available. It's gonna be very special. We're gonna put on a show that you're gonna love and we hope to be proud of.
So that's mythicalmonthly.com.
And tourofmythicality.com.
We should tell them about what we're working on with Buddy System. I think that's the big thing that we're focused on all summer is crafting Buddy System Season 2 for you guys, and we want to make a point to keep you guys in the loop as we're working on the creative process. I mean, I love working on it because we've got our hands in every aspect of the process, and it's so different than what we do the rest of the year because it's long form narrative. Of course, there's still a song in every episode. Every episode's gonna be longer this time around. Are the songs gonna be longer? I don't know, because we've gotta write them. We're starting to write them.
No, I don't think the songs are gonna be
The songs don't need to be longer.
No, but and so that's what we're kind of focusing on right now. And we actually-
Like tonight, when we're done recording
with this, we're gonna focus on it.
We gotta keep writing songs.
But we've been focusing
recording
on
demos.
And many of you may know, Link doesn't do the social media thing quite as much as me, and he hasn't done the Instagram thing in a couple of years. So you may not know that he also went to Mexico recently when I was there, and I did a little social media from there.
But we went to different parts of Mexico.
Yes, different places. So I was with my wife and he was with his wife. We decided to do it that way this time. And we were in completely different parts of Mexico. Anyway, it was just a long weekend. It was like a get there on Thursday, stay through Sunday. And it was, as I called it to my wife, Jessie, it was the calm before the storm trip. It was, this is gonna be a crazy summer, just like all our summers have become crazy now that we do Good Mythical Morning almost year round, and we do Buddy System or something like it during the summer, and there's always something else going on. Our families don't get a lot of the traditional things, like there's not like a summer vacation anymore. We have to take vacation over Thanksgiving or over Christmas or whatever. So it's like, baby, we just need some time alone and without having to worry about any of the stressors in our lives. And so-
And I need to be writing songs the whole time.
Yeah, well, specifically what I told her, I said, all I wanna do is sit by the pool. I don't wanna do any excursions. But I was like, the thing that would be the most stress relieving for me personally, and also the most helpful for what I need to be doing, is if I could just sit next to the pool and write songs. And she was totally fine with that because she's just gonna sit next to the pool and read a book or work on whatever she happens to be working on with her design stuff. And so I actually felt like I got more work done poolside in Mexico than I ever get done around here. I think we might need to move our office to just a poolside in Mexico.
Really?
Yeah.
How could I oppose that?
I mean, just sitting there and just waiting for a waiter to ask me what I wanted next.
Hey, there was a guy at the pool I was beside, and he came up and he took my sunglasses and he washed them.
Did he ask first or did he take them right off?
He ripped them off my face
No,
and
he didn't.
washed them.
No, he didn't.
And he slammed it back on my face.
He washed your sunglasses.
Yeah. And he didn't charge me.
Are you the only one he was doing that for?
Yeah, then he went back to his family and
It was
started
just
hanging out.
It was just another guest.
Another guest. No, that's what he did. Super nice guy. Taught me some Spanish.
Oh, really?
I've forgotten it. It went adios.
But I got so much work done. But one of the things that happened is I'm at this pool and I've talked about this on GMM or somewhere before, I don't know, how I'm using this app. You know, traditionally I'll write songs on a guitar or piano, which I don't really actually play the piano, but I can play it well enough to write something very slowly. But I've got this app that's like playing out the chords. I can like select different chords and just hit buttons to play chords just to create song structure without having to have a piano in front of you.
What's it called?
Suggester.
Suggester. Yeah.
And I think there's multiple programs, but that's a really good one.
You suggested it to me, which it's called suggester. There's no it's not suggest. But anyway.
You can suggest something.
Suggest.
I think you suggest something.
I don't think you ingest something if you eat it.
I suggest that you listen to me right now. Suggest.
I suggest.
I suggest?
Yeah.
I suggest it. It's got 2 G's in it.
It does.
I sug and I jest. You gotta sug a little bit and you gotta jest a little bit. Anyway, I use Suggester. But I'm using it poolside and there's—
That was a good promo for someone that's not a sponsor.
Not even a sponsor.
Come on, Suggester.
Yeah.
Help us out.
I suggest that you become a sponsor. Now, they're playing music poolside, and then there's another person playing their own music poolside. And it's different beats happening.
Off like an iPhone.
They had like a big like
speaker?
JBL Bluetooth speaker that was very loud, actually a lot like the one that I have at home.
Why would you do that if there's already music
There's
playing?
music, and they're equally as loud.
And you're writing a song?
And I've got my headphones on and I'm suggesting things to myself.
Ding, ding, ding.
You know, different little piano chords.
Uh-huh.
That got old very quickly, so we moved. We moved to the other side of the pool where they were like, this side of the pool is quieter. This is where there's the saltwater area. Yeah. We didn't make it all the way to that. This is a place you've been before.
Yeah, you didn't swim in the salt water pool?
I never did. I didn't.
Dude.
I stayed at the main pool.
You're just more buoyant.
Most of the time. But anyway, I actually only got in the pool one time in 4 days.
Must not have been, it was hotter where I was. I got in the pool a lot, but I was on the beach and I could still hear music playing, and I was writing the song for episode 2, which I'm so tempted to tell you what it's about. But I would say, here's my hint. It's a very revealing song.
Or actually not revealing at all.
Yeah. Yes. But I decided to make it a reggae song.
And I wonder why.
Because this music they were playing was reggae and I couldn't get it out of my head. So I just started, like, I was writing down lyrics, but you start writing down to the rhythm of, like, I'm sure it's the song that we finalize is going to be the same tempo, and it's certainly gonna be reggae.
Mine's gonna be 2 tempos.
Oh, you got 2 different
It's gonna be 2 competing tempos the whole
simultaneous.
time, all the songs.
So, you know, when you hear that song in episode 2, you guys got the scoop on it, and you can picture me on a beach in Mexico writing it.
I'm super excited about it. I know we talked a little bit about Buddy System season 2, but you know, it's
so crazy.
It's just so weird. It's so weird in a wonderful way. I mean, it's just Buddy System is the thing that we can. Buddy Systems is our outlet for the weirdest ideas that we have. You know, GMM is a place where we do weird things.
Yeah.
But Buddy System is a place where we conceptualize and execute and bring to life weird ideas that are kind of like an alternate world. And this season 2 is even weirder in a better way than season 1 was.
I'm starting to be, you were relieved when you started writing things down. I don't get relieved until we get, maybe when we send a demo to Mark, who's our music producer, but then when he sends back like a more produced track and it's like it's all clicked into place, then I start to feel relieved. It's like, it's interesting how we feel relief at different parts in the creative process, which I feel relief. Nice.
I feel relief when I know that the song is going to be funny and I know that the song is gonna sound good.
Like I've written a verse for that song and the other song, and like this, so it's like the template's there, but the second verse is not there yet. And it's like, I think you'd feel great because you're like, oh, I can bang out the second verse. And I'm like, do I have a second verse in me? And of course, we have the benefit of each other. So like, you can also take that and say, oh yeah, I see what you did here in this first verse. Now blam, 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 blam. Here's the second one. Like you could fart that out.
I plan on farting it out.
Maybe you hand me something and I'm like, oh, that little thing of that melody there, that was the start of something. What if we da blah, ba da blah, whoop, and then I farted that out. And then it's like, man, this smells funky. Let's see, guys. I can't wait to share it with you.
You've really set the bar pretty high. The expectations.
We fart these songs out like beans, man. Refried beans, Mexico.
Okay, that's one way to see it. I tend to think of my songs as coming from my head, not from my butt. Just my heart and my head.
It's your problem.
But if yours come from your butt, that's great. That explains a lot.
I'll take that. I'm fine with that.
Okay, so we're gonna get to our conversation with Olan in just 1 second. But first, we're gonna let you know about them pocket tees that we got. Oh, actually, I got a pocket tee right here.
Yeah, the official Ear Biscuits
Ear Biscuits pocket tee.
Look at that. You can fit 4 of your 5 fingers in the pocket.
And Link, you have a non-pocket tee. You have the wax paper dog shirt.
This is the retro wax paper dog shirt, available for a limited time. RhettLink.com/store.
Yes, that's where all our stuff is available.
All types of pocket tees and all types of things to drink beverages out of when you're on vacation.
And now, on to the biscuit with Olan Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so LaCroix used to be trash?
Yeah. Like I think it was like, they used it in like the 70s or something for airplanes.
What do you mean trash?
It's like trash water. It's like really bad quality water.
To what, wash planes?
No, like to serve on planes, man.
To serve on planes.
Serve on, yeah.
Just the crappiest water.
The crappiest water
well,
that you could get.
You know, it was, we talked about this on a GMM. It was made in the Midwest. I think it was the 80s.
That's when the 80s, yeah.
Yeah, and it's been around just kind of like flying under the, literally flying over the radar in planes. I don't know how high radar goes.
If what he's saying is true.
And then,
it's true.
I don't think it's changed at all. I think it's just, its perception has changed. It's just a story of perception. That's what LaCroix is. Story of altered perceptions.
It's marketing. You know, it's marketing because it's just, as my kid calls it, spicy water.
Spicy water?
Spicy water.
LaCroix's spicy water?
Spicy water, which to him he's 7. It just means.
It's got the carbs.
It's got carbonation.
Those are carbs, right?
No, it doesn't.
Is it different? Is carbs and carbonation different?
See, you don't understand the marketing, which is it has no carbs. It has nothing. It's
Spicy
0
water.
calories.
Yeah, Shepard says that toothpaste is spicy. Adult toothpaste is spicy.
Well, that makes sense because it could be. I mean, pepperminty.
Are they doing the LaCroix thing in Nashville, or did you?
It's everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. So you
people
didn't just
people are obsessed with this now.
Okay. So you didn't just adopt it.
No.
It's coming out here.
It's all over.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask my mom if it was in North Carolina, but our friends back in Cary, North Carolina, they have it.
They're doing it?
Yeah.
They're gonna start actually replacing it. They're gonna put it in the public works. That's what I've heard.
Everybody
wants
Trader
it.
Joe's is everywhere.
Yeah.
Congratulations on freaking so much stuff.
Yeah.
You've got this, and you know what? We should talk about all this. But you've got you got this. The cartoon on TBS is happening.
Yeah.
Shall we call it an animated series?
Yes, you can.
Can I call it a cartoon?
You can call it a cartoon.
Can you call it manga?
Manga?
No, you probably shouldn't.
It's not manga.
I don't think it's manga. Is it?
I don't know how to say it. Is it manga?
It's manga, but anime.
Is it manga?
That's
like the comic version of anime, right?
Yeah. I just wanted to say manga.
So you don't know either.
Manga is the one you did the comic version, but anime would be. Is it anime?
No, it's not anime.
I knew that already.
And you got married.
Yes.
You eloped. That's how you put it.
Yeah.
So we'll have to unpack a little bit of that.
And you moved out here.
Unpack
at least temporarily.
For like a year. A year.
So how long have you been here in LA?
Since November.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So through the holidays.
Yeah.
But you did like a tour. So you weren't like here over the holidays.
Well, just for like 3 weeks I was gone, but then I was back here.
What's your assessment of here? Are you staying in the Oakwood Apartments?
No.
They don't call them that anymore.
Do you know what that is?
I have no idea what that is.
They call it like Toluca something. That's gotten a little fancier. Again, it's all about perception.
But the Oakwood Apartments are furnished apartments that for maybe decades.
At least.
People get a job and come into town to do their thing, and then it'll probably fizzle out, so I'm not gonna bring furniture. And you stay there.
It's where a lot of the child stars who came out early, like back in the day, like a Corey Haim.
And Corey Feldman.
Stayed there.
They're like skateboarding around it. But we stayed there when we moved here for 6 months to make Commercial Kinks. We stayed in the Oakwood Apartments, and they gave us the spiel. Well, not Oakwood didn't give us
for 6 months.
How much did it cost?
No, we stayed there for a couple of weeks.
No, you're right. I'm sorry.
How much does that cost?
We stayed in a furnished apartment for 6 months, and that was really in Los Feliz. That was way expensive. That. But when the pilot for our show on IFC, we stayed in the Oakwood Apartments for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
To like edit the pilot and all that stuff.
What was rent?
At the Oakwood?
Yeah.
At that time,
I don't remember that.
It was still probably like $2,500 a month or something like that for like.
But like furnished, fully furnished, like couches, bed, everything.
Really crappy though.
Okay.
$2,500.
Well, that's awful then. Why did you do that?
We didn't know any better.
Because
that's so bad. Like
we didn't. The production company actually paid for it. They put us up for the couple of weeks.
It wasn't that bad.
Because when we moved out here,
it wasn't unsafe.
For the 6 months, we stayed in another place, which was too expensive too, but that was furnished. And then
but you're not living there. That's
yeah. Short answer, yes, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not living there. Yeah,
because you know it's a year. You're going to be here for at least a year.
What is the physical address of the place you're staying?
It's just West Hollywood. I'm not gonna. Yeah. We're
okay. Why are you only saying a year? Because
we did that saying that was what we told our families, but we knew we were never going back.
Oh,
and they're not listening, so tell us.
No,
is the hope to stay, or you're like playing it by ear, or
I'm playing it safe. Just because I don't know what that future looks like. Because right now I only have like a season 1 to final space.
Mm-hmm.
They really freaking like it right now, but to move everything across the country to LA, which everything's like twice the price, if not quadruple. Yeah, it's just it's a way different environment. Plus, I just really like Nashville. Like it's just such a nicer place, I think.
Nicer. Well, give this place a chance. But
I'm trying to, man. I'm trying to.
But Nashville's cool though.
Nashville, I've heard it's really cool in Nashville.
Yeah, it is.
It's a really cool like soda shop that you can hang out in.
Yeah,
get some nice merch in there too.
Okay, so
you're just freshly married.
Yeah. About 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Oh my
2 weeks.
goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell you talked about this in your vlog a little bit.
Yeah.
About the decision to elope. But this was a long time coming.
Yeah. I mean, we've been thinking about it for a while. Yeah.
How long you were dating?
Like 10 years.
So by a while, you mean a decade.
What in the world, man?
10 whole years. Yeah. So I mean, I always kind of imagined getting married when I was a little bit more mature. I was very immature 20-year-old.
But then you realized it would never happen, so you just got married anyway.
Well, I think it was something that me and my now wife discussed, and she didn't really want to get married just because our parents wanted us to get married and our family wanted us to get married.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the biggest pressure, especially coming from a lot of religious people where they're just like, you got to get married at 18. The moment attraction starts, you got to get married. So yeah, that was more of a thing where I was like, I was going to wait until I was 30 because that's the guy I'm going to be for the rest of my life.
Oh, so this is a long-term plan.
Yeah. Well, just that part. Everything else, I don't have it planned.
Well, if it's tough in the first year, don't worry about it. I mean, I don't know. We got married young, both of us, and like, I tell everybody who gets married, it's like, if the first year sucks, just wait until the second year.
But if you've been, if you've been together for 10 years, that advice doesn't apply.
So then that's a good test. Is that if it sucks for you, then your plan is backfired. It's basically what you're saying. I had to weather a lot of years of me not being a great husband.
A lot,
including
last year.
I had to weather that. I mean, Christy had to weather that.
Yeah, I think I mean, since we've been dating for so long, that we are very comfortable in who we are right now, and it's something that we know our goals and our strengths and weaknesses, and we know each other. So, I mean, even with this kind of situation where she's in Nashville right now, because we have a house there, and I'm up here kind of trying.
Oh, she's still back there.
Yeah. It sucks, but I mean, it's like we have a bunch of dogs, and it's like a house, a business. I mean, there's a lot to move in that decision from Nashville to LA. And even still, it's. I mean, how do you move away from your home? You know, that's like I've stayed in Tennessee for the past over a decade. You know, since 6th grade. You know, so it's like. It's a big decision, and I don't know if it's something, especially coming to a place where everything is way more expensive, and I just don't know this area, and it's very alienating, and even just right now, it's kind of lonely. I will say that it's pretty lonely, just because I go into work and I work on the show, and then it's just that nonstop.
Right.
I don't know if you guys have done a show. It's like it's unrelenting. It's just nonstop, and you want it to be the best thing that you can possibly make. And if you know, at the same time, you can't, like, especially doing YouTube, you can't neglect that. So I devote my week to doing Final Space and my weekends to doing YouTube, and I don't get any break. So it's
There's
like,
no other time.
Now, and what's your wife's name?
Rachel.
In the pictures I saw, they were like clever. She was cleverly obscured in a couple of the pictures I saw, which made me think maybe, like, I couldn't see her face in the wedding photo. So I wanted to respect, you know, if some boundary was set up that I didn't know about, that, is that something that you guys have done that, like,
does she not
doesn't
have
appear,
a face?
Does she not appear
If she doesn't
in
have
your
a face,
videos?
She's a faceless monster, man. No. She's of course she has a face. Yeah.
Is she behind the scenes? Is there a delineation here, or is she in your videos?
No,
I haven't seen her.
Yeah. She's been in multiple sketches that I've done.
Okay.
She's been in tons of videos.
But you know, so so I'm just making this up in my brain then.
Yeah, it's just all in your brain.
think
Because
so.
we don't put our wives in videos. So I was like, oh, maybe he doesn't do that.
Occasionally.
Because the wedding photo, she's like giving you a kiss, but I couldn't see her face.
Because that's just the cool thing that you do now, man. It's called the silhouette, Link.
I wasn't the photographer.
It's a great picture.
Yeah,
But I see your face. I don't see her face. I'm just saying.
There are plenty of pictures
of her face.
She has a face.
I'm
and
not
there
the
are
one.
pictures of it.
I'm not the one who said she didn't have a face. That
doubt-
was never my question, Rhett.
Well, but what about this?
I had a more intelligent question, which was.
Well, I have an intelligent question. All right.
Well, I'm not satisfied with the
question.
answer.
And that question is, how are you with somebody for a decade? You got a lot of time to plan the wedding. You got a lot of time to get all the details right. Usually you elope with somebody that you just met, right? So the combination of time together before marriage and quickness of marriage once the decision to get married, like you're on the opposite end of the spectrum. So what went into that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just both of us didn't want to have a big wedding. And a lot of that I think stemmed from her sister getting married, and I just remember after the wedding, she called up Rachel, who I guess was the bridesmaid. Is that the
maid of honor?
Maid of
honor?
Yeah,
bridesmaid. Yeah,
probably.
Maid of honor. I'm sorry. You can tell how much I know about weddings.
Right.
You know?
You didn't have to worry about that.
So she called her after the wedding and was like asking about these cupcakes that was at the wedding. It's like, hey, we didn't get any cupcakes. We're wondering if there's just any cupcakes. And this was like the day after the wedding, right?
At her own wedding,
No, after the wedding, she called her sister.
Asking about
cupcakes that were at the wedding because she took them, okay? And so I was like, what the hell are you asking for? Your guys just got married and you're asking about cupcakes?
What's the answer? I don't know the answer to that.
Well, she gave them to, we had an event at the soda parlor and she gave them to all the people that came to this event.
But she wanted them.
She wanted these cupcakes.
And she couldn't have them because you gave them away.
They gave them, but they're cupcakes.
They're
Go
cupcakes.
to the grocery store and get a cupcake.
They're supposed to be given away.
And so that led you to
you didn't want to get into that.
A wedding.
There's a bigger story. There's a bigger story here.
Oh, there's cupcakes. I'm out.
To preface it.
Give us the whole story. I love your stories.
Look,
You tell great stories.
I thank you. So these cupcakes, when she asked about them, put my now wife into tears, okay? Because there was just all this stress, all this like built up like pressure to make the perfect day perfect.
Yeah.
And
it's always a disappointment.
And basically to kind of worry about the most insignificant thing.
The day after.
The day after you marry your now, spouse.
Yeah.
You worry about cupcakes. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
But did she want to eat one? Or did she want to know that they were good? Because that's what I thought you were saying.
She didn't get one.
She didn't get one.
Well, that's what I mean.
Because
listen,
she's busy like glad handing everybody.
I glad handed everybody at my wedding. Is that
Isn't
that the
that
word?
what it's called?
I shook hands with everyone.
You glad hand everybody.
I greeted everyone with a glad hand.
You know what I'm talking about, Olan?
Yes. No, I don't actually, because I didn't have a wedding. So.
Well, no, but by saying glad hand.
You shouldn't say glad hand again. No, that's also something that's happening in your own brain.
When you're glad handing people, it's when you're greeting people and you're being a host.
And you forget to eat all the food
yeah,
at
you don't
your
eat
wedding.
it, and you don't remember what happened.
But we had people create a little pack for us, like a picnic basket that we took to the hotel room. And it had a cupcake.
Now see, that's smart. That's smart.
I didn't make a phone call the next day.
Because the day after.
Screw that.
But the day after, you shouldn't be asking about the cupcakes.
Exactly.
For any reason.
Exactly.
And I don't still understand what a reason is, but it couldn't be a good one is what you're saying.
It couldn't be a good one. And you shouldn't be worrying about that. You should just be worrying about, having fun on a honeymoon, or also just, I don't know. It just seemed kind of insane to be like literally putting somebody to tears over something that insignificant and causing all this pressure. And then you got to plan a wedding, and then who's planning this? You got to do a bride shower. You got to do, a bachelor party. It's all these like traditions that it's just built up, and now it's this whole production. It's a whole production, and I've done wedding photography as well.
Mm-hmm.
And once you do wedding photography, holy crap! I used to love photography. I can't shoot photography anymore.
We did one wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was it.
It's awful. It's
awful.
Bad. It's awful.
It was bad to be on the fringe of it. And you don't want to be in the middle of that donut.
Yeah.
I mean, it's brilliant what you did.
Brilliant.
Just like your stories, man. You did it right.
Thanks. Thank you.
You waited 10 years, and then you just ripped the Band-Aid off.
But who was disappointed? Who was more disappointed? Your family, her family?
Nobody,
because you made it clear.
The cupcake maker.
It wasn't a surprise. It was like, we're not gonna do this big thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're eloping.
Yeah.
Was there any sort of?
I mean, we did it. I think
a little party.
A very respectful way. Like I told.
They got dressed up. They had a photo. Didn't see her face, but they did have a photo.
Yeah, they did the silhouette thing.
I don't know what photos you're even looking at. That's.
You have to pull up the photo.
Pull it up. I want to see.
It's your wedding photo.
I want to see.
And then on the thumbnail, I can't see her face either.
Are you just talking about the thumbnail of the video?
I'm talking about the thumbnail where you said we eloped. Don't see her face. And then there's a picture.
But you know that picture, that thumbnail, was the exact moment that we became,
Husband
married.
And wife.
Yes.
I
It's
see
like
it.
that.
Oh, really?
Like I can't just like move the position of where the.
That's you kissing in your wedding ceremony?
Yeah, it's not a silhouette.
Yeah. Oh.
I noticed that her face was obscured.
And then on your Instagram, that's what I was looking at.
Oh.
Yeah, go to that.
Instagram.
Let's see that.
No pictures of her face on your.
Let's see that. Yeah, let's see it.
What is it?
What, my Instagram?
Olan Rogers?
Olan Rogers?
I guess so.
Yeah, that's it. All right, I'm scrolling. All right, there's one girl's face, but that's probably
no.
not.
Look, there she is, facing away.
She's facing totally away, dude.
Oh yeah.
I can see your full face.
You may not realize that this is what you've been doing all along. Look at that.
Look, can't see her face.
No. Go back.
No.
There's multiple pictures in that.
What do you mean there's multiple pictures?
There's multiple pictures.
No. Click into that again.
I don't know how to use.
There's multiple
and
pictures.
now click that and go through it. Nope. See,
that's
a flower.
Keep
that's
going.
not a face.
Keep going.
Is that broccoli?
Keep going.
Is that broccoli?
Keep going.
Can you just tell me if that's broccoli?
It's not broccoli. Why would it be broccoli? Keep going.
Okay.
Click the thing, Link. Oh, there she
Boom!
is. She has a face.
Third picture in.
I never asked if she had a face. I just asked if you had a policy of not posting her face.
Her face is on there.
And your policy is you just bury it.
Oh.
You bury it 3 deep. That's okay. I'm not trying to coming between the two
Yeah, you're
you
creating,
guys.
you're creating all kinds of problems.
There's her face again, dang. I don't know how to use Instagram.
I guess
that's evident.
Who knew you could post multiple pictures in a post?
Okay, so nobody was disappointed.
Wow.
No.
No regrets, which, listen, man, I don't blame you. I mean, we had a good time. It was a good party.
I was a wreck.
I didn't have to pay for it.
I was a wreck.
But
Christy was a wreck. It
I
wasn't.
could have easily done without it.
Was it stressful
Oh,
when you
yeah.
had yours?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
like, I
What
mean,
were you
when
stressed out about?
You know me. I feel like I'm doing it for everybody else, and like
Exactly,
I want everybody
exactly.
else to be happy. And like,
that's it.
Did you like the cupcakes? It's about everybody else.
that's it right there.
And
It's a production for everybody else. And then half the people that you glad hand, you don't even know. You don't even know them.
thank you.
It's pretty much
Yeah.
like I put it in the video, a pop-up restaurant that you're just feeding
Yep.
a bunch of people that you have no idea who they are.
Yeah.
But you can't feed them pizza. You can't feed them like Doritos.
Right. It's gotta be a
You gotta
good
feed them like
restaurant.
filet mignon and like
yeah,
little croissant, seafood lobsters. I don't
Right.
know, just
Things that no one ever orders when they go places.
Yeah, right.
Like I mean, if it's a thing you wouldn't even order,
yeah.
why are you gonna give it to them for free? Like
What's-
it's better. The thing that you would never order is better.
that's yes.
Yeah, suddenly everybody likes some sort of shrimp thing at their wedding, and I wouldn't, I never order
The
shrimp.
catering menu. This,
But
this
you're
is
in a-
everything what people don't order right here. You want this? Yeah, it sounds great.
You're gonna love it.
But you're in a challenging place because now it's a long distance relationship and you're newlyweds and
Well,
you're figuring out dual coast and are you going
Well,
back?
Nashville's not on the coast.
I mean,
Tennessee is a landlocked state.
there
There is a river.
There's so much little land once you get to Nashville relative to the rest of the thing that if you zoom out far enough,
You're dual
Nashville
coasting.
looks like
Yeah.
it's on the
If you
coast.
count the Mississippi River, you're dual coasting.
Yeah, I mean,
Are you going back on a rhythm?
No, we kind of visit each other back and forth. As much as I can get out there, she'll come up here for a couple weeks. I'll go out there, and then we're pretty used to the whole long distance stuff. I mean, she's did a huge internship in London, and that was like for a year. And so she went to college in Mississippi. I went to college in Memphis. That was a year. I mean, so we're pretty used to it. And yeah, I mean, it's nothing new. It's nothing new.
Okay.
So, yeah, 10 years. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like
You've been through it.
They've been through it. So.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. And so let's skip to the cartoon, Final Space.
Yeah.
When it was Gary's space,
Yeah.
that was like just a video. I mean, when you made that video, was it just a one-off? Was it like, okay, I'm calling this a pilot. I want to try to sell this because it's fast forward 7 years, it's finally getting made.
Yeah. I mean,
which is amazing.
It was just something in 2010 where I was like, I just really want to make a cartoon. And I had no money, no real way to make it, so I just decided just to do it. It's very crude. It's just images moving across the screen, and I did it in After Effects, and it was fun. That was just meant to be kind of fun because I love cartoons. I've watched pretty much anything that you can probably say. I've watched it. But yeah, after it kind of got picked up, I was ecstatic. I mean, this is something that I've dreamt of. I used to draw comics and all that. So when I was a kid, so this is something that is something I've really wanted for a while.
So you did you did Gary Space.
Yeah.
But then when you last year, like the middle of 2016, when you uploaded, which basically was Final Space, which is
Yes.
What was the status of the project at that point? Because it seems like you were. Because you made it, and then months later, you made your vlog about it getting picked up. So
yeah, it was such a fast process.
But Newform funded the
proof
pilot.
of concept, yeah.
okay,
pilot,
so that was
right? Yeah.
New Form funded it. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
Yeah, the proof of concept, yeah.
And so then what happened after you put that up?
Yeah, I mean, I started getting messages kind of immediately from lots of different places, Adult Swim, Conaco, Lionsgate, all these other people that just really gravitated towards it for one reason or next. And then, yeah, after that, it was just a whirlwind where I just got sucked out to LA started preparing a pitch, pitched it to a bunch of places. They all wanted it, and went with TBS. So,
Did you meet with Conan himself?
yeah.
Because it's usually one of those things. It's like, okay, this is Conan's company,
Yeah.
or it's like this is like we had a lot of meetings, and it's like, well, you're gonna meet with Jack Black, or you're
Yeah.
gonna meet with Ben Stiller, and then it's like, you get there and you're like, well, you're not. I mean, Ben Stiller's company.
Yeah.
I meant Jack Black's company. You're meeting with his guy or his
Yeah,
girl
yeah.
who does that stuff,
Yeah.
the development person.
Yep.
And there's a little bit of a letdown. It's like, well, I'm looking around for Ben Stiller.
Oh, there's a picture
Well,
of
no,
him on the wall.
In that one meeting, I think I asked, is Ben around? Like, oh no, he's in Iceland. We didn't get to meet him. But you got to meet Conan.
Yeah, but I mean, not the first time. It was just their executives, you know? Like
So you glad-handed Conan after you had gone with him? Or did he have to seal the deal? Did he have to come in?
No, he's not even really involved in that much of the process. I just went to one of his shows and he just said he really loved what we were doing, and I shook his hand. He's super funny, super tall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just excited just to talk to anybody, because at that time, I didn't even know what the heck I was going to be doing for the next year, you know? So, I mean, I was just like, who if it's Conan, great, but if it's an executive that just wants to do something with it, then yeah, I'm excited either way. Yeah, I don't know.
The thing that I hear, like under the surface, or sometimes I think you just say it outright when you talk about in a lot of videos being like the underdog, or like the one counted out, or the one who's not making it, who's like giving it all he's got, and it just kind of fizzles out.
Yeah.
Like you describe yourself that way, the underdog. I mean, you don't call yourself a loser, but it seems that way. But then it's, you know, for me and everybody that watches, I think it's quite the opposite. That you're like the hero that like actually tries stuff.
Yeah.
You actually make stuff. You do stuff.
Yeah.
And it seems like it does work. So it's
No,
like
it
so it's like
doesn't.
was it like a soda, like I'm gonna start a soda shop
Yeah.
in Nashville. I'm gonna have a merch company.
Yeah.
Well, you have these things, but
I think it's what you're seeing is the end result, you know? Like the process from starting, you know, from nothing all the way up to that. How many freaking times I failed to try to get that thing off the ground. Like the struggle to open up that first soda parlor. I mean, we about like went broke a couple times. Had to take loans out, had to, you know, scrap and just scavenge anything that we could to open those doors. And that was like, I mean, probably one of the hardest things till this day that I have ever done.
and it still sounds like a crazy idea.
It's a crazy idea. It's working. It's doing great. We opened up in a bigger spot.
Which, by the way, is the beauty of it. I'm not like saying that's a negative thing.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a big, crazy idea.
Yeah.
So
You've said that like 4 times every time we meet. You're like, that's such a crazy idea.
I love it. I love it when somebody has a crazy idea and they do it.
I mean, how did that come about?
Well, I did a free pizza party meetup tour back in like 2013, and
Pizza party meetup tour. So this was for like your YouTube audience.
yeah, because I got asked to go to Playlist, and I was pretty pissed that whoever it was went through Mitchell Davis just to ask me and couldn't ask me just in person. And I was like, that's so shady. And then at the time that they decided to ask me, it was like the maximum amount that like ticket price. So it was like over $100 to get a ticket to go to Playlist. So if I went, people would have had to pay that price. I was like, that's insane. Like, I'm not going to ask somebody to pay $100 to come to Playlist. It's like, I'm not doing that. So I decided to do my own thing and just do it for free. And we spent like over $10,000 in pizza, and just sold merch to basically fund the next stop. And we did 8 stops around the U.S. and like over 8,000 people came to it, like 13-hour meetups.
13-hour meetups.
Yeah.
What year was that?
It was 2013, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is a 13-hour, what are you doing for 13 hours?
Meeting people.
Like people
glad
lining.
handing.
You're glad handing. People lining up.
I
and
don't
then-
know. It was meeting people. It wasn't glad handing. It was like meeting, talking, doing whatever they wanted me to do for a picture, dancing. I mean, it was a lot of fun. And from that experience, I realized, wow, if I could connect to these people and actually know these people's names, like create a place where people could come, and it's like a shorthand to where they don't even want to take a picture with me anymore. I was really intrigued by that, and we started thinking about trying to open up something that essentially could do that, a place where we could do these events and host a game night or a pizza party or something like that. And that's kind of where the soda parlor got birthed. I mean, we would do a coffee shop, but I know nothing about coffee, and it would probably be really terrible coffee. So we just did soda because it was easy, and floats, and yeah, I mean, we could have done more, but our first business, our next door neighbor, basically was very threatening to us, and would basically said that he was right when we opened our doors, he was like, I'm the king of beverages in this building, and you can't do anything. Whoa. And so basically, he
saw you as competition. He owned a restaurant or a bar or something.
A coffee shop.
A coffee shop.
And so basically,
the king of coffee. That's
basically,
not all beverages.
All beverages.
When I met with him, me and my business partner met with him, and I mean, this guy was sitting up like, 5 feet higher than us.
On a throne?
On like a throne, okay?
Yeah, the Beverage King throne.
Yeah. And he had like all these monitors of stocks next to him, and we're sitting there completely low, like looking up to this guy, and he was like, "Come in, and I'll give you some advice on how to open up a business, and run it." We're like, "Oh, sure," And we sat there, and he starts like leaning in his chair. Freaking the thing snaps, and he eats it. No. He eats it, and I'm just like, oh my gosh! Like I'm looking at Coulter, and he's about to break, and finally, I'm talking. It wasn't like a fall. It was the chair spine snapped in half.
Oh my gosh! Did he die?
And he ate it. He got up. His face was red, and he was just like, so. And he stands there, and he's like, what else do you got?
He didn't say, I meant to do that or anything.
No, he acted like it didn't happen.
That's the worst.
And so I was like, oh, man, thanks for all the help and stuff. But after that, he basically ended up putting a soda thing in his coffee shop.
Oh, no.
He thought you booby-trapped his chair, man.
Yeah. And then he started.
Did you?
No.
He started selling soda.
Yeah, started selling soda and doing floats.
No.
Yeah.
And so how long
before we opened, essentially.
Before you opened?
Yeah.
But this was the old location.
Yeah, he did it. He met with us essentially to steal our idea, essentially.
And so you did it for how long at that location?
A year and a half.
But it was a struggle because of him and.
I mean, we were doing very well. I mean, he was just a douchebag, but I mean, he didn't really affect us at all. But it was just the fact that there's this guy that just anything that we did, he would tell the landlord. The landlord wouldn't fix anything. Our basically there's termite problems. I mean, the list can go on about that location. But it was a struggle. But that guy was a douchebag, man.
And these are all things that you are talking to your viewers about. You're like letting them in on.
Well, yeah, because
on your experience as it's happening.
Yeah, because I don't want to make it seem like it was sunshine and rainbows, man. It was dirty, and it's a very dirty process to run a business, which I'm sure you guys know. It's hard. It's not an easy thing to do, and in that time, when you're trying to open up a business, you got to worry about other people and their families, and they're depending on you to make this thing happen, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of pressure, and it's a lot of stress. And after I ended up opening that, I even had like health problems, man. It's a mess, man. It's a mess. But I'm glad what it's doing now. It's a success. I would say it's a success. We're still paying off loans and stuff, but it's something that we did without any investors, and we just did it with, you know, the idea of like, let's just go out and do something cool.
And has it transitioned? I mean, if the whole thing kind of started as almost like, let's take what we created on the road and bring it into one place.
Yeah.
That seems like something that would be difficult to maintain for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Even now, especially when you're out here.
Yeah.
So is it kind of, is the focus changing?
No. I think it's, and that's one thing that my wife does now. She's the general manager of that thing, and
Okay.
it would not run without her. She designed it, actually. She's an interior designer, and you know, does a lot of architecture stuff. And
But you kind of structured it where it's not all about you. So when you step out of it,
exactly,
or you know, you're not in all the merch photos. It's
Exactly.
not your merch.
Yeah.
It's not your soda,
yeah,
so to speak. It's something that you gave to people. Is what it
exactly.
seems like.
And that was a big thing of trying to make happen, which essentially was it for it to be a real business. It needed to function without me, being there all the time, essentially. But I mean, anytime that I'm there, you know, I try to do like a fan appreciation night as much as I can get up there, which is we just give out free floats and free pizza. And I mean, we'll go through at least like $3,000 in ice cream. I mean, alone, man. It's fun though. But I mean, the thing is, like, it's always a way just to kind of give back to the people that have supported me, and that thing wouldn't be running without the people that come in there and support it. So
Right.
it's just a way to kind of do something fun for them. So
Right.
Before that, what was the first thing that worked? Like I can trace back like the first story, and it's kind of hard to tell now. Like the stories get so many views,
yeah,
and so it's kind of hard to tell going back to the beginning how many of those are like views of people going back versus which one really popped first.
yeah,
And I know you had a sketch channel with a friend of yours that was
yeah,
before that.
yeah.
And I kind of look at that and say, okay, he was doing just weird sketches. That some of those have millions of views too.
Yeah.
So did something pop there first, or was it, and then you switched to the stories?
I mean, I kind of basically once I left Balloon Shop,
Which was the sketch thing
yeah,
with your friend.
we kind of all went our separate ways, and I had to restart a channel from nothing, essentially. And I started doing the stories and stuff. It wasn't until, man, I don't even know. I think it was definitely after I got done with a tour, the dial-up tour, and I posted Ghost in the Stalls, and that was probably the one that, I mean, in terms of what viral is now, it didn't really go viral, but it got a ton of views. I mean, that was like my first like million views, like like in a day, essentially. And then after that one, it's just, I've always been kind of like a slow burn where it's like, it's just a very slow process. I mean, you look at me, I've been on YouTube for, man, like 11, 12 years, and I still haven't cracked that 1 million code yet, but.
Oh, and subscribers.
Yeah. But it's not a big deal.
But you're proving that doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I think that there's a.
It's just it's a very just.
I think there's a different quality
Yeah.
to the community that you're building.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Than maybe somebody with more subscribers.
Yeah.
Because even thinking in the way that you think about the fans and the way that you thought about playlist and the way that that led to the soda shop, it's a different kind of community that you're cultivating.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
It's even more personal than, I mean, first of all, it's already very personal when it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's already very much more personal than it is with a traditional celebrity, but you're kind of like ratcheting it up.
Yeah. Well, it's. I mean, coming from somebody that, I mean, just to preface that, I haven't, I consider myself an underdog because, I mean, I literally have not won really anything besides like pitching that show and all these people wanting it. That was the first time in my life that people were like, oh my gosh, this could actually work.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually stuff just deteriorates or it doesn't happen or I get last place or, I'll do a video contest and somebody swoops in and gets all pro skaters to vote for them. And it's just like.
Sounds like that actually happened.
It did happen.
That sounds very specific, yes.
It's
What contest was that, by the way? Was it a skateboarding video?
No, it wasn't actually. It would just it's in the past. I don't even want to talk about it. I was so frustrated at that one.
What brand was it for?
Nikon.
Okay. All right. We can move on then.
But yeah, I mean it's I don't know. I think it's always been something where I've just lost, man. I lose at everything. I hate to say it, but it's just like I haven't ever succeeded in regards of like what people can consider traditional success, if that makes sense.
But it hasn't stopped you from trying a lot of different things. I mean, like
no,
I mean, we haven't even gotten to the fact that you wrote a book.
Yeah. Well, that's not even out yet, but I'm still working on it. Yeah, independent.
You're writing.
You're writing a book.
Yeah, like a science fiction.
Under a different name.
Yeah, under a different name.
Which is
R.S. Hammersnow.
but like, okay, but before we get into the details of that, like,
but it's me and my friend Jake. Jake.
Right,
yeah.
but
you're both R.S. Hammersnow?
Yeah.
Okay.
But what, like, I think something people would be interested in is, because you do so many different things, you start so many different things.
Yeah.
Somebody who's out there listening who's like, well, I've got all these things I want to do, but he's actually done all these things. You say you're underdog, and I'm not saying that those things haven't been difficult and everything hasn't been a huge success, but you've done so many different things and you're doing so many different things well. Like, what do you say to somebody who's like, how do I start something?
You just got to do it, man. A lot of those things, like that book, I don't have any book deal. Somebody did ask me to kind of do like a biography on myself, and I was like, nah, I'm not interested. I'd rather just do fiction if I was going to do anything. And I mean, yeah, there's nothing lined up for that. You know, I just wanted to do it. You know, for the soda parlor, nobody was like, hey, here's $500,000. Go open yourself a soda parlor. We just did it. We took out loans and we got ourselves in debt just to open that up and to do something cool. And it's paying itself off, and it's actually pretty cool to watch. Even with my videos and stuff like that, like, I mean, a lot of that stuff, I just kind of went out and did it, and a lot of them have supported it. But you know, from the beginning of that channel, I started from zero, you know, and it's just been constantly doing it. You just got to go out and do it, essentially.
Yeah.
To me, it's like being willing to take a risk and another risk and another risk. I mean,
exactly.
Every you know, creative endeavor, I think, there's an element of risk associated with it if it's legitimately something that from an artist's heart, he or she wants to create.
Exactly.
And then I think you just add a level of vulnerability to it.
Yeah.
That you know, that becomes part of your art as well, that you're sharing yourself, and it's not just, okay, so I might have a great story today.
Yeah.
But then tomorrow I've just got myself. Like, what's your philosophy on crying on camera? Like, you had the sunglasses bit for for like the tears of joy when you were announcing like the Final Space being ordered as a series. But that's not the first time that you've cried on camera.
No way. I'm just a very emotional person to begin with, man. You know, I'm that kind of person as a kid that, you know, watched Titanic and bawling his eyes out, you know, or Braveheart. When he says freedom, I was like weeping, you know. My dad was like, it's okay to cry. And I'm like,
but
what?
But he's not crying, of course. He's just saying it's okay for you to cry.
Yeah.
Not for me to cry.
Yeah. I just been that person, man. I don't know. I can't describe it any other way when it comes to crying in camera. It's not like I go into it thinking, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna weep. I'm gonna weep in this. I like physically try not to cry.
It seems like you were trying not to.
But then on the back end, who's editing these videos?
Me.
So at that point, you got a decision to make. It's like you could scrap the whole thing. You could put only the crying in. You could put a teaser of just crying, like boom, right off the bat. He's like weeping. Look at his face.
Why would I want to put a teaser of crying?
Yeah,
I'm saying
that would be a horrible idea.
I'm presenting the extremes of your choice as the editor.
Yeah.
You could start with crying, or you could cut it out entirely. So
well,
that's an interesting thing.
If I cut it out, like, and here's the thing, I actually cut out a lot of the crying. Okay, a lot of the stuff that it's in there, it's like, it's real, you know. And if I take that out, am I literally taking out something that was a real moment during my recording of that video? So a lot of the times when it comes to that crying stuff, I just let it be its thing, and then I'll move on to the next thing. But I mean, if I feel something genuinely, like I'm sitting there and I'm talking and I'm literally happy to the point I'm crying in tears, that's a beautiful thing, you know? It's like I'm gonna that needs to be seen, that needs to be shown. That's me, and I want to look back on that and be like, wow, you know, I remember that moment. That was a really special moment where I was so excited that I literally could not contain myself. And even with the Soda Parlor and, you know, the Eat a Slice little documentaries that I made, I look back on that and I watch it and I'll still cry because it's like I remember that moment and I remember what I was going through in that moment. But to cut it out entirely, I mean, you should see how much of it I did cut out. I mean,
well, it's interesting because there's another element too with, there's obviously a whole lot of authenticity in that.
Yeah.
And you share what you're actually thinking, what you're feeling. You show what you're feeling by actually showing that you cry. At the same time, you have this kind of character that you go into in your vlogs. So how did that develop?
I mean, the thing with, you know, doing stories, there's definitely two sides of me. And if I love to entertain people and I love to have fun, but there's a lot of times that I'm like the most chill person that you could probably even meet. You know, there's times that I just need to switch it off and just play video games or just, you know, not talk to anybody. But doing those you know, video logs, that's me. You know, that's it's not a character. That is me.
Yeah.
In an essence, you know, and that's just like my energetic, crazy side. The next side, you know, when I'm very concentrating the business side, the guy that's like, you know, doing Final Space, I have to kind of reserve that because nobody's going to give a show to an insane person, you know. And I've even seen that, you know, it's you just kind of gotta kind of have both sides of the coin essentially.
Right.
But it is interesting as I don't know, maybe not as a viewer, but as a producer, I think this is what's behind your question, is that the dynamic of, I understand as a performer that, you know, I tap into the things that, the aspects of my personality that are more amped up and that are more performance oriented, you know, to entertain and connect with our audience on Good Mythical Morning. But I think it's fascinating to us how you can, I think that's what we describe as like a characterization of ourselves on Good Mythical Morning that then feels separate from what we do here on Ear Biscuits, like like a moment of honesty. But so I think we're fascinated how those things, you switch in and out of it. It feels like both those things happen. Like it'll happen with you know, if I can tell that you said something that came out in a way that you found funny that you didn't anticipate you were gonna say, so then you crack up and you leave a little bit of that in the edit, which is a great moment of authenticity. But to me, that's breaking character. Right? And then in another moment, you might be moved to tears. You're telling this story in like in your story persona. That's just what I'm gonna call it, or character. And then you'll have an emotional moment, which I feel like is the other side that you're talking about. But you'll skip back and forth. Is that something that, I mean, how do you interact with that? How do you explain it?
Yeah, I honestly, that's not even, I don't even analyze it, man. I just do it. I mean, that's just me, you know, like I can't really describe it because it's something that when I do those stories, when I crack up, it's genuine, you know, because it's something that I'm remembering back as a kid, and it catches me off guard, and I'm like, you know, that's funny, you know, that's I'm laughing at the ridiculousness of this. I don't know. I don't know. I can't really describe it because it's not something that I sit down and plan or, you know, think I'm just gonna do this. You know, like I'm gonna be energetic here and then quiet here. It's like
you just turn the camera on.
Just turn the camera on.
It's fascinating because if you think of like I don't know, like if we go to like grade school and we talk about like the class clown stereotype, well, that's all. You know, a lot of people would say, well, my first guess is that's a defense mechanism, or that's a way to hide how you really feel, or maybe from being bullied or something like that. Now, I'm not saying that for you or for us, but I'm just saying I think that's what makes it fascinating, that when I watch your videos, that there's the performer that's saying something hilarious, but then you're not it's very clear that you're not hiding anything. So I think that's
because I don't have anything to hide, you know, like
right. You're not. Yeah. You in your subject matter, you're putting everything out there. So, yeah. But I think that's what's so fascinating. I think that's what people are drawn to. You didn't ask me to try to explain it.
Yeah.
And I may be totally off, but I don't know. I think that's what draws me to your content.
I think a way to say what you're saying is
say what I'm saying
is that your content is driven by things that are actually happening in your life. Like this life event precipitates this piece of content. Where with what we do with the Good Mythical Morning, this is a daily show that's gonna come out 5 times a week. It's gonna come out most of the year. And you've got to have something that kind of fits a certain tone every single day. So we're not waiting for a moment or for something to happen that then we respond to, but we're trying to get ahead and plan this show. Which kind of leads to my next question, which is, have you ever thought about, like when you see all these people doing these daily videos and these daily vlogs, was there ever a time, like what's the highest frequency that you've ever gotten to with your videos, and like what's kept you from going to like a daily video?
Well, daily videos, something that genuinely does not interest me at all. I think it's a lot about there's only so much you can do in a day. If I did daily vlogs, it'd be very boring stuff. I mean, I'm not like I think that if you have an awesome life, like, you know, look at a Casey Neistat, it was just like, wow. I mean, I'm not that cool, you know? Like at the end of the day, it's like he does like everything. I'm just not that cool. So it's something that I would have to like fake it in order to like go off and do crazy stuff every day, which I don't want to do because that's not me. Or 2, I film a lot of just boring stuff of me, you know, writing or just doing normal everyday stuff like every other human in the world, you know? Which none of those interest me. So it's just something that if I'm gonna do something, I tend to do it, I try to do the best I can. And I don't think I can do daily vlogs very well.
Right.
Of course that there's I see what you're saying. Like there could be something there essentially with that, but I don't know. I don't know if I could keep that up.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to do the other stuff that you're doing. Yeah. I mean, and we couldn't. We have a daily show, but we could never do daily vlogs. Like not in a million years.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that you just want to keep private, man. I can't show my whole life because I don't want to. You know, like there's stuff, you know, even with my relationship that it's like, you know, maybe I just want to watch a scary movie with my wife and not film it and you know, try to make that an entertaining thing for people to watch. Like I just want to
Which is why you don't show her face on anything. You've made a good choice with that.
Even though she has one.
I think, she's got a great face, and you.
I guarantee you look at Instagram, there's plenty of pictures of her face.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I saw some of them.
Yeah.
I do remember that from earlier in our conversation. So with Final Space, it's taking up your weeks now.
Yeah.
You're doing your channel on the weekend, you're fitting it in. I mean, what else is in the works?
Well, the book.
What are you excited about?
Yeah, the book is on the back burner just because my co-writer and best friend has Lyme's disease. So
really?
Yeah, right now he's going through some pretty serious treatment in Kansas City. So I didn't want to go forward with it until he got better.
And what's the prognosis?
I mean, it's pretty serious. I mean, his basically he has depersonalization. It's affecting his mind. It's went past the brain-blood barrier.
Mm-hmm.
So I think recently, like the symptoms kind of change, and he gets new ones. Like he went partially deaf, and basically, I mean, it's pretty nuts. I mean, if you see the video, if you go to his channel, I mean, it's affecting his speech. Like
what's his channel?
It's just Jake Sidwell.
Okay.
So I tried to set up a little GoFundMe for him, and he's seeking treatment in Kansas. But yeah, the book is going to wait until that man gets better because I don't want to do anything without him. So
okay, and we'll put the link out there too, and to the video for the GoFundMe.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, he's a great guy, and I just really hope he gets better. I mean, it's been going on for like over a year. Started with like Bell's palsy. Half of his face was paralyzed, and it's a crazy disease, man. Yeah. I didn't know much about it, but after
it didn't come from a tick.
It did
with him.
Yeah, it had to have. I mean, that's
the only way to get it.
Yeah. So, other stuff though, it's just potentially working on stuff just for like a feature and other animations, and I did another project with New Form in Animation called Lines Blaze, and they're kind of holding on to it right now.
It's under wraps, so you can't see it. It's not on the channel.
It should be coming up in August, hopefully, because it's been done for about a year now. So
and then Final Space is coming in 2018.
2018, yeah.
You know what? The first part of 2018, or
I think like first quarter.
How many episodes?
10.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a serialized, really epic animation. It's
half-hour episodes?
Yeah.
And how far along are you in the process right now?
We just started, I think we have 2 more scripts to finish, and then we just started records on 5, and then the animatics have started on 1 and 2. So it's full production right now, and it's a lot of work, man. How naive I was about doing a TV show, but it's a ton of work.
Yeah, because you're voicing. How many characters are you voicing?
Right now I'm voicing 3 because I can only voice 3.
And then you've written these, right? Or co-written them?
Which ones?
The episodes.
Pretty. That's where it gets kind of interesting with the whole credit stuff. A lot of the scripts were heavily rewritten to where there were no words from the previous draft by me and the showrunner.
Got it.
But I mean, essentially, it's like.
And you're a producer,
yeah.
So you're just wearing a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Well, man, we wish you the best. We're thankful that you took a break to come in here and hang out with us. And, yeah, we're fans. So keep it up, man.
Dude, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any notes for us?
No, I got no notes for you. That's it, man. That's all.
There you have it, our Ear Biscuit with Olan Rogers.
Definitely a fan of his. I don't watch a lot of YouTube videos, but
really?
I've watched some of his.
That's a big disclosure.
And I'm like, I really like this guy. And it was really cool to hang out with him. I think he's got a way of connecting like magically through that camera that like it's a gift. It really is.
If you start giving people sweets though, I mean, it is cheating a little bit. You give people ice cream and pizza.
Oh yeah,
I mean, maybe we should start doing that.
He knows what people like, man.
Yeah, I mean,
and a good story. Check out his YouTube channel. listen to all of his stories if you haven't. YouTube.com/Olan Rogers. That's also his Instagram handle, which he posts pictures of he and his
wife's face.
His wife's face.
He's got a son that are probably just his wife's face.
Who knew? Who knew?
Well,
I know who didn't know.
I think most people did know.
I didn't mean to make such a big deal out of it.
Now tell me.
We kept going back to it.
Now tell me, you're really trying to keep her on the down low, aren't you? It's like, what? Weird.
Well, you didn't know.
No.
You were acting like my question was weird, but we don't do it. So it was a normal question for us.
But as soon as I saw his response, I was like, Link's got the wrong
Barking
idea
up the
here.
wrong tree.
Let's see how long Link keeps going up this tree.
Hey, but the first 2 pictures I showed the guy, did you see her face?
Yeah, it took 5 minutes, but I knew it wouldn't.
It took 5 minutes to get to her face.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, and you can, we don't really have any pizza or ice cream available currently. What we do have is we have the option for you to go over to wherever you're enjoying this podcast, and however you respond in that place, if it's iTunes, write a review or give a rating, whatever you do, just
give us your feedback.
Show some love to an Ear Biscuit.
#Ear Biscuits. Do it. We'll see you next week.
Yes.
Talk at those ears.